Yo, what is going on, guys? J.Yumeko here, and today we're back with some more of The House in Fata Morgana. It has been 11 days, as of recording this video, since I last uploaded a video on this game. So, it's been a little while, but nevertheless, we are back. So, last time we left off, we actually got to hear the story, really, of the actual creation of the maid. Not Giselle, but the maid. So... if you don't want me to spoil that for you, then you can go ahead and watch the last episode. All right, how about you go do that first? Anyways, so basically, Giselle had struck a deal with the witch, saying that, okay, I'll help you out with your goals. I'll stick around to be what was described as your guide, if that means I get to see Michael again. So what that actually meant was that pretty much she became immortal is really what it was. So I don't think she's technically alive. I think she is actually like dead, but she's basically a walking corpse. So she's kind of sat dormant in this mansion for years and years. I mean, like literally hundreds of years, until finally we just arrived at the story of the flaxen-haired family. So she had been the maid of, I think his name was Harry or something like that. And he was the grandfather of the flaxen-haired kids, I do believe. So this is when the manor got its reputation for being the Rose Manor. Everything seemed to be going pretty good. She was happy. She had some hope. But then, obviously, the grandfather died. And he was poisoned, so the grandfather was poisoned, pretty much permanently bedridden and paralyzed, and he killed himself with his by strangling himself because his arm, I believe, was pretty much the only thing that he could fully move. So obviously she feels guilty about that, and she's kind of now, as of this point, become the maid that we know and associate with these stories, the kind of more emotionless black-haired maid. But that's enough of me yapping. Let's just jump right on back into it. Oh god, we gotta do these voices again.
Oh, dearest Mel, come over here. There are so many beautiful flowers.
Now, Nelly, there's no need to run. You're going to fall, and you can't say I didn't warn you.
Hello, I've never seen you before. Are you the new maid?
Good afternoon, Lady Nelly. Oh, actually, I guess I should give her an accent, huh? Good afternoon, Lady Nelly. That is correct. It is an honor to serve you.
Oh, did you do all this?
I did not. The garden was your grandfather, Lord Hayden's work. Hayden was his name, not Harry.
Wow, is grandfather a wizard?
Perhaps he was. I'm sure he would be delighted to know you like it.
Did grandfather like flowers?
Yes, he loved them quite dearly.
Wow, I love flowers too. I've never seen a garden with so many pretty flowers. Did you know that this kind of flower is called rose? Just like our name.
Why, yes, they do sound alike. And like the flowers, you are also a very sweet little girl.
Say, what's your favourite colour of rose?
I like all colours.
But you don't like any the most? That's too bad. My favourite is pink. Pink roses are so pretty.
Indeed they are. Ah, jeez, there you are, Nelly. Oh, my apologies. Please don't mind my sister. Oh, not at all. We've been having the most wonderful time. That's good. I imagine we'll be seeing each other around, so it's a pleasure to...
Dearest Mel, let's see what the inside's like. Mother says I have my very own room.
Slow down, Nelly. I beg your pardon. The inseparable siblings ran off toward the mansion hand in hand. It was a heartwarming sight,
But the next moment when they stepped inside, I saw something else. The darkness enveloping the mansion seemed to flare up, the open door a gaping maw into its hungry bowels. The whole house looked as though it was cackling. It was, I presume, the witch Morgana's madness taking form, a manifestation of how she felt now that her centuries in the making wish was bearing fruit. Those two children were the ones Morgana had been waiting for. Had I still had any willpower to fight left in me, I would have taken them by the hand and then sent them somewhere far away. I would have done something before the house swallowed them up. But instead, I just lowered my eyes. Misfortune would surely sink its teeth into those two children before long. Pain and misery would befall them. I knew no good lay before them, but my heart had all but frozen solid. I had my hands full taking care of myself, so I let Hayden's beloved grandchildren fall into the witch's hands. I was, for all intents and purposes, Morgana's marionette. At long last, it has arrived. The time I've been waiting for so long has arrived. Darling, devoted Giselle, I know not how to describe for you the fiery excitement burning within me. Oh, I know. I can tell you my story. Tell you exactly what that mild-mannered little boy once did. You'll be open to listening now, won't you, my dear? And you'll surely understand that I am doing nothing wrong. Because you're my ally, my trusty servant. You and I, we live in the same world. We're as close as family, are we not? Yes, as you say. So, let us curse them, all of them. Let us inflict a pain worse than physical torture on them. Let us put their souls on the rack for all eternity. Curse them, make them suffer, curse them. Now, listen carefully, Giselle. This is a tale of wicked men and my curse upon them.
Oh, so we're gonna get the story of the witch now.
The witch spat her curses for some time. The bile overflowing from her words, the pure, unadulterated hatred brimming within, consumed me more than the horrifying things they described. She was brutally honest, each word a careful sharpened blade of animosity. How much bitterness did you have to carry inside you to become like her? How long did you have to feel nothing but hatred to become like her? I felt like, if I let my guard down, I would be consumed by her enmity. It would become mine, and I would grow to despise them myself. All the while I kept my mind on one thing. That is, what was left of my mind, locked away inside a shell of my own creation. It was that solitary truth that allowed me to hold on to my human emotions, to continue believing. I'm always waiting. My love will never fade. When I was still my old self, I called them master and would do anything for them. Michael. That was their name. They were beautiful. They had pearly white hair and ruby eyes. They are going to come for me. Michael, all I can remember about you is your name, your glassy white skin, your fiery red eyes, and your snow-colored hair. Nothing else. And that's why, when I saw her that night, dripping from the storm raging outside, I thought, you're finally here. Because I didn't remember enough to know any better. You already know who I speak of, don't you? The person who called upon Rose Manor that fated stormy night. The girl with almost translucently pale skin, chillingly white hair, and eyes like jewels. Ah, what a beautiful girl. Her hair, her eyes, her porcelain skin. It all matches the person in my memories. She must be the one I've been waiting for. If she is. Is something the matter? No, I just thought I felt someone watching us. It's only your imagination, I'm sure. If not your imagination, then perhaps some unseen force was watching you. Unseen force? Are you familiar with how people refer to this mansion? Rose Manor. Yes, indeed. It is called Rose Manor because you can smell the sweet fragrance of the rose garden even at a great distance. But that is not what I meant. It is said that a witch resides within the house. A witch? I've not heard any such stories. You probably wouldn't have. It was a very, very long time ago. Nothing you need concern yourself with. You have a peculiar presence about you. Should I consider that a compliment? A peculiar presence, she says. Does she sense something in me, as I do her? This has to be her then. Her name. I need to ask her name. It's getting late. You should get some rest. A room has already been set aside for you. But first, may I ask you one thing? Yes? I do not believe you've given me your name yet. My name? My name is Michelle.
Oh shit.
Ah, I knew it. You are the one. What? You are the one I've been waiting for. I have endured so much in anticipation of this moment, so that I could reunite with you. You came to this place to see me again, did you not? Held tight to those wonderful memories until you could come make it back to me. I never gave up hope. I always believed, and I hope you'll praise me for that. And I ask you to please say my name. To please make me... I don't know anything about you. I'm sorry, you seem to be confusing me for someone else. We've never met before now. You jest. You are Michael, are you not? That is my name, yes, but it's a fairly common name. Surely you're confusing me with... That cannot be. That white hair, white skin, those red eyes, and that name, the name of the Archangel.
Oh, I mean... Well, I'm pronouncing her name as Michelle. Which, I mean, I guess Michael's the male name of Michelle. Michelle's the female name of Michael. I guess it's kind of interchangeable. But in terms of pronunciation, I'm probably just going to stick with Michael and Michelle.
That...
Oh yeah, I already did that.
Everything about you is the same. How can you say that you're not my Michael? Please, Michael, remember for me. Stay away from me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. You would reject me. I'm so sorry. I honestly don't know you. Do you care nothing for the time we spent together? We've not spent any time together. You would deny everything. I'm sorry. I see. I see. So you feel nothing for me anymore? You do not need to say anything. I understand. You're feeling a great deal of disgust towards me. No, Or perhaps it is fear. Yes, you were always so kind. You would not easily allow yourself to succumb to hatred. I understand. Please forget everything I've said. Who are you? I am but a simple maid. nothing more. Laughable, isn't it? I no longer recognized Michael as anything more than a concept. Man or woman, elderly or infant, as long as they had white hair, red eyes, and the right name, they were you. I needed anything I could get. I was so desperate the thought never even crossed my mind that she was not you. What do you think, seeing me like this, that I'm helpless and hopeless? Listen to this, Morgana. Michael's back. She's finally come for me. But she does not remember anything, it seems. Not me, not our past, nothing. She saw me and was afraid. In fact, are you listening, Morgana? Ah, darling devoted Giselle. Poor pitiful soul. That must have been quite harrowing. But don't worry, you still have me. Besides, this might not be your only chance. As long as you continue on, Michael could appear before you again. Do you think he'll remember me next time? I can't say. That's up to Michael. You do have another option, though. Forget Michael yourself and seek out a new master. Someone who can be yours. Someone dedicated and faithful. Who needs you. Someone worthy of this mansion. Someone who needs me. That's right. Michael didn't need you after all. It's alright, don't worry. You have plenty of time.
Watching them from a distance slowly grow closer. And we all know how that turned out. So, I mean, that confirms our theory, though. The white-haired girl, or that confirms a question. The white-haired girl is, in fact, a real person. Library. Although I guess you could even insinuate all this as us just watching from the shadows. But it puts another layer on it, because if the black-haired maid was under the impression that that was Michael, she's essentially watching who she believes is her lover falling in love with somebody else, and then something terrible happens to them, and then it's just like that over and over and over and over again. I believe this is when, well, this is, I think, like the night. Yep, there it is.
It's raining again today. I kind of wonder what happened to him after he fled from the mansion. Although, I suppose it doesn't matter much to me. The witch is surely watching him. Hiss, hiss. Such a dreadful storm. It sounds like someone crying. I was, at that point, completely out of my mind. Broken. My smiles, frowns, and gasps had all been replaced with
what? Had all been replaced with imitations. Okay, hold up.
Shortly afterward, the flaxen-haired boy moved out of the house and went on to become a priest. The girl fell ill a few years later, her disease eventually taking her life. But the boy never once returned home. The Rhodes family crumbled. I couldn't bring myself to grieve for them, or to reflect on Hayden's sorrowful end. I simply waited for time to begin moving once more.
Damn. I was just about to ask that, actually, like, will this show us what happened to the family? Because I know that in the initial retelling, so we're about 100 years later? But I know that in the initial retelling of the story, it just was kind of like, oh yeah, then the family eventually disappeared. So yeah, I mean, I don't blame him, right? Like, he leaves after that kind of after you go through that kind of shit. Yeah, I think it's pretty justifiable to say, all right, deuces, I'm out of here. And then, you know, the sister just dies from an illness. A few years later, she dies from an illness. Oh man, jeez. I'd say the most, like, I'd say the thing I'm most interested in right now is what, the kids actually did to Morgana to deserve this. Because I imagine it's probably gonna be another, like, past life thing, or, you know, something like that. You're like, oh, their descendants did something to Morgana that got her pissed off. So, who knows?
Little remains to be said about my broken self. But as I stated before we began, this is the maid's tale. So I would like to take this opportunity to elaborate on events I was unable to show you before. That is, if you can bear listening to such a dismal, miserable story. I already told you of my meeting with the beast, so I'll begin the second tale from here. After Bestia slaughtered the merchant who showed up at the mansion, his mad laughter echoing through the halls.
Ha ha ha! Hey, did you hear that? Did you hear his screams? He said I was a monster.
Mutilated bodies lay sprawled across the living room floor. As you can imagine, this was my first time ever seeing such a bloody, mangled corpse. I could not look directly at it, so I averted my eyes.
Hey, you saw it! I just proved that beasts are stronger than humans!
Indeed, you did.
I know. I've got a great idea. You asked if I wanted to become the master, and I said I did. Which means you work for me, isn't that right? So you'll do whatever I tell you to do, won't you?
What would you have me to do?
Chop up his arms and legs and make a stew out of them. And don't you hesitate or you'll end up like him.
Yes, master.
Jesus.
He's trying to assert his total dominance over me. That's not proper behavior for the master, although I am the one who offered him the role.
Do it.
He's an utterly mad beast. But am I really all that different? There's blood all over my hands. It sounds like someone's laughing. Is it him, or is it her? No matter what happens, it won't affect me. The cocoon is not the real me. I was looking down at what could only be described as a pile of human debris. I had done this, but that fact did not register with me. I felt nothing at all. Not regret, not anger, not sorrow or despair.
Put it on the fire. He said he traded in spices. That should give him a very unique flavor.
How am I supposed to work with this? I was, quite simply, puzzled. No one had ever made such a request of me in my hundreds of years at the mansion. That's all I was, puzzled. But he interpreted it as hesitation or fear, so he grabbed me by the shoulder, knocked me to the floor, and skewered me with that curious blade of his. For the first few moments, he wore that deranged grin of his, But as the seconds passed, it slowly transformed into shock. Not a drop of blood spilled from my breast, and the instant he realized it, I saw revulsion in his eyes. Him, of all people. A man who cackled as he slaughtered others was disgusted by a mere maid. It was absurd. So much so that I almost wanted to cry. You. Is that all, Master? Are you not going to dismember me? You could try stabbing my face, or my neck, or my stomach, or any other part of me. Maybe then I might die. Oh, now, don't look at me like I'm some exotic creature.
Stop that. Quit laughing.
Why should I? My only distinctive feature is my smile. I have nothing else. My hands are covered in blood, but I can still smile. It's ridiculous.
I get it now. You're the witch, aren't you? Ah, I see. Only monsters ever had a place here. Every so often I hear a woman's voice in my head. That's you, isn't it? You're the witch!
Monster. Witch. Maid. What am I? Who is Giselle? Michael said she was spirited, and cried, that she often laughed and cried and shouted. But I don't know anyone like that. I'm just a maid. Nothing more than a servant. The woman's voice he said he had heard was probably the real witch's, but I had no interest in that. I almost would have preferred not having to think about anything at all. Nothing would cause me to waver if my head was empty. A world without joy or sorrow. Sounds quite peaceful. But nothing ever went the way I planned, for the white-haired girl, whom I thought I would never see again, appeared before me once more. I was quite nearly in a panic. Beneath my perfectly practiced smile was a veritable storm of emotions. Faint hope flared up within my shell. Perhaps this time, Michael would remember me. But that hope was, unsurprisingly, in vain. Is someone there? Yes, I came by to ask if there was anything you needed. I cannot offer you anything extravagant, not like before, but I'm here to provide you with anything in my capacity. I appreciate the offer, but I need nothing. Being allowed to stay the night is more than enough. Do you work here in the mansion? Yes, indeed I do. I've been here for a very, very long time. A very long time? You might think this an odd question, but have we met before? Something about you seems familiar. And I get this feeling that I've been in this mansion before. Yes, we have met. It was quite some time ago, though. When was it? It was an unimaginably long time ago. Do you remember a boy and a girl with flaxen hair? Flaxen hair? I apologize. My memory fails me. Do you not remember me either? I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember anything this time either. But I'll not be so pushy this time. I could not bear to be so blatantly rejected again. I see. You should probably not push yourself to remember then. There were joyous times and there were less than joyous times. But would you be so kind as to answer one question? What might your name be? My name is Michelle. White hair, red eyes, and the name Michael. Why must you continue to bring me pain? Why can you not set me free as you were supposed to do? I see. So you are Michael again. Again? You should get some rest. I'll make tea for you in the morning. Also, go on, close your eyes. The white-haired girl lay so quietly in her bed I could not tell whether she was asleep or awake. Even the sound of her breathing was too faint to hear. Standing over her, looking down at her, the locked-away despair and wails of lamentation I thought myself no longer capable of, came bubbling back to the surface. But can you honestly blame me? I'd been waiting for Michael for so long. She was the only thing holding me up. She was the only thing keeping my broken self from falling apart completely. Yet she claimed not to remember me. Did you pity her, having to go through tragedy after tragedy? But every time she showed up, she said she did not know me, bringing me more and more grief. I'd been waiting for hundreds of years, waiting for her for so long, my mind slipping away with every passing day, waiting and waiting and waiting. My apologies. I have to be careful or I'll slip back to what I was then. If you were not holding my hand now, Tell me, you are Michael, aren't you? That's a relief to hear. Thank you. I'm alright. Do you think I'm as muddled as I feel? Let us return to the tale then. You don't know what it feels like. You don't know how much it hurts for someone you waited for so long for to say they don't know you. You have no idea how much it crushes me. Rather than feel like this anymore, maybe I should just end it all with my own hands. I reached my hands out toward her slender neck. I was not especially a strong woman.
Where was we?
I was not an especially strong woman, but I thought even I would be able to suffocate her with relative ease. She was blind at that, so she wouldn't be able to run. However, that was one thing I could not bring myself to do. I can't do it. I ran and I ran and I ran, though I knew I had nowhere to run, plunging myself into the mansion's darkness. I did not want to be there any longer. I did not want to have anything to do with her.
Well, that explains why in the Beast story, the maid just up and disappeared. I think after the Beast story, we get to Jacopo, I want to say. Now, in Jacopo's story, the maid was very much like... Well, I will say this. The maid seemed kind of simultaneously, like, hands off, but also kind of like a big instigator as well. I feel like there were a lot of moments in Jacopo's story where it kind of seemed as though she was pushing the idea of, it felt like she was trying to stir shit up between Jacopo, the white-haired girl, and the blonde-haired girl. Excuse me.
But being an inhuman inhabitation of the house, I could not close my eyes to plug my ears to what happened within its walls, as much as I may have wanted to. It didn't matter where I was. I had no say in the matter. I was forced to observe the events until their tragic conclusion. Twisted, bloody madness. Their wretched wails creating a whirlwind of misery. When it was all over, Morgana cackled like a little girl.
Go on, you have a laugh too, my dear.
There's nothing in the world better than this. He was a beast through and through. And what a fool he was to think he could become human. Ah, I love it. He destroyed everything he had with his own hands, and then couldn't even manage to mourn for it. Quite the unfortunate fate, wouldn't you say? Go on, laugh with me. Laugh with me, my darling, devoted Giselle. Michael is dead too, though. You're worried about that tiny little detail. She'll show up again, of course. So you don't need to worry about a thing. You don't need to feel bad about any of this carnage. Rest easy, my darling, devoted Giselle. If you say so, then I shall not be concerned. Yes, that's good. Laugh. Laugh, my dear.
All right. 1863.
I apologize for making you listen to my dreadful stories for so long. You must be quite wary of them by now. But worry not, for this is the final one. And despite being the end, it is neither dramatic nor exciting. It was a single phrase, the most insignificant of things, that caused me to completely lose myself and forget I had, long ago, been the woman called Giselle. There was no malice in it. It was but a simple greeting. Do you remember how, the first time she arrived, Michael said I had a peculiar presence about me? She felt something there between us. And the second time she said something about me seemed familiar. She did not remember why, but her soul recognized the bonds we shared. So I assumed that the next time she showed up, she would feel something even stronger. Or perhaps even have her memories. Despite having been let down again and again, I still held on to the faintest glimmer of hope. But when she appeared, she was someone else's wife.
Hey, head maid, get out of here. Oh, get out here, my bad.
I'm right here, sir. Is something the matter?
I figured you should get to know her as soon as possible, since you'll probably be spending a lot of time looking after her. Hey, get out here. Christ, there's not a goddamn confident bone in your body, is there?
I'm sorry. I'll be right out. The first thing she said when she saw me was, "It's a pleasure to meet you." It's a pleasure to meet you. What had I spent all that time waiting for? It was all for naught. It was all meaningless. In this era, she felt nothing at all for me. In retrospect, it makes enough sense. But for me at the time, that was the end. Morgana! Morgana! Cast me into darkness! Make me a formless being like you! I do not want to be here another second. I don't want to look at her ever again. Morgana! Morgana! Please listen to me. I'm begging you. Now, what's the matter, my dear? It's not like you to throw a tantrum. I can't take it anymore. I can't do this. Michael again. Oh, you poor thing. Betrayed 3 times now. Morgana, you pitiful girl. Don't groan like you're having a bad dream, my dear. I'm here for you. Please, Morgana, erase me from existence. If you go away, then I'll be all alone. And that would be absolutely dreadful. But I... Tell me, what torments you so, my dear? What? Michael, whom I've been waiting on for so long, doesn't... Oh, you poor thing. You spent so long riding the currents of time that you've lost sight of yourself. What? You've convinced yourself that someone else's story is your own. Someone else's? Yes, indeed. It was such a beautifully tragic tale that you fell in love with it. It resonated so deeply with you that you felt their pain as if it was your own. What are you talking about? I wanted to tell you, my dear, but you were so convinced it actually happened to you that I couldn't bring myself to take it away. Then, what about Michael? She's not the one you're looking for, and you are not hers either. Then what about Giselle? That is not your name. Then who am I? Who are you? That's a very silly question. You're this mansion's cursed witch. I'm the witch. That you are. You are both the maid and the witch. But how? Do you truly believe that someone who has eternal life, who doesn't bleed when they're cut, and who can smile no matter what happens to her isn't a witch? How much of this Giselle's memories do you actually possess, my dear? How clearly can you remember her life? You can't, can you? You don't know what kind of story Giselle and Michael wove, and you wouldn't because you were merely an onlooker, much like you are now for this present tale. And by contrast, how many of the witch's story do you know? You should know it very well. Yes, but that's because you... No, my telling you it is not the reason. The details are rooted deep into your memory. Then That's right. You are the cursed witch Morgana. But I am you. You split into two parts because you refused to accept who you were. Think about it. Have I ever shown myself to you? Have I ever shown myself to anybody? That's why I am the witch. That you are. I see. It all makes sense now. Everything has fallen into place. There's one thing I still don't understand, though. This story I was so enamored with, Giselle's and Michael's story, what kind of story was it? I would be glad to tell you. You look like you're ready to know the truth.
And that's probably where we got the first version of Giselle and Michael's story, which replaced Giselle with the white-haired girl. Damn. So the witch wasn't even playing the long game. She was playing the fucking game. That's what she was doing. I mean, literally hundreds of years pass just for her to take advantage of the fact that Giselle has lost sight of herself. Jeez Louise.
I believed every word she said. All my worries melted away like they were nothing. The sight of the white-haired girl no longer kicked up waves in my heart. In fact, I found myself wishing for her to find happiness. I was an observer, watching and hoping for the best. The tragedy that befell her did sadden me, but I felt bad for her like I would a character in a story. I brought you your medicine, Master.
Thank you. Just set it down over there. Yes? What are you staring at?
My apologies. I was simply musing about how much time has passed. I can hardly believe it's been 40 years since you were a bright young businessman.
And you haven't aged a day.
Why, thank you. I am a witch, after all.
Well, I don't care about what you are. You could be the Grim Reaper for all I care. You still work harder than anyone else.
May I ask you a question, Master?
What is it?
Why have you not returned to your homeland? I thought it was a place quite dear to you.
I can't wait for her. Back there.
Do you still believe she will return? To a degree, I understand how difficult it can be to wait. Though for me, waiting now brings more joy than pain. With your lifespan, Master, it'll be the pain that wins out. Perhaps you should consider letting go. tell me, was her name really Michelle? Why, yes, it most certainly was. But why would you ask such a thing? Have you forgotten your own wife's name? You've waited so long that it would seem like me, some part of you's begun to break down. You poor, poor man. You know, you look a whole lot more pitiful than me. Oh my. Oh, there you are! What has you in such a flurry, my dear? You are a noble servant. You are a noble servant. You must maintain your composure at all times. But the master... What about him? He was found deceased in his chambers. The doctor just came out. He said it was his ailment. And it would seem the master knew his time was short before he left a will, asking not to be given a funeral. I see. I feel kind of bad for him, though. Not only did he not have anyone at his side for his final moments, he didn't want to be sent off at all. Isn't that sad? It is for the best. There's not a single soul in this world left who could send him off. With your era drawn to an end, this mansion will soon return to existing nowhere in this world. I wonder what the next one will look like. I wonder if misfortune will befall her once more. That would be quite regrettable. Perhaps, if I could convince her of her tragic fate, she would be willing to disappear from this realm with me. And if she wishes to fight that fate, perhaps she will become my next master. Calling her master seems inappropriate, but I cannot think of a better word that fits better.
Ugh, fuck that up.
I eagerly await the next era. Please, do not keep me waiting for long, master.
That line right there might actually tie into that initial choice we were given. Because remember, the only reason that we are this far down into like the further into the story is because I believe, I don't know how many episodes ago it was at this point, but we were given a choice to, I think it was something about like continuing to explore the mansion, or to like, oh no, it was something about agreeing with her request or refusing her request. It was something like that. There was some choice that I think we fucking apparently made the right decision on, because we've ended up being led down this whole route here.
Time pressed onward, and then, at long last, you arrived. Oh, splendid. You've finally awoken. I've simply been waiting so long for this moment. Tending to the mansion all by my lonesome, ensuring it was ready for your return, master, whenever that time may be. And when I caught sight of you through the window, my heart fluttered. The time had finally arrived. Oh my, you do not know who I am. Do you not know who you are either? That is quite the predicament. Then how about this? I am a servant of this mansion, and as such I am familiar with the many incidents that have taken place here. I shall show you the history of this house, master. Let us be off then. And fear not, I merely entreat you to not let go of my hand. Should you hold it tightly, you need not worry about being washed away by the waves of history. No matter what happens, you mustn't let go of my hand. No matter what happens, no matter what you see, never again let go of this hand. That is everything.
I prepared a number of things to say when she was finished with her tale, but I can't imagine to put any of them into words. I can't manage to. I almost hate myself for thinking it would be so easy. Filling myself hope I could simply pull her back to her old self, accept what happened to her, To take her hand in mine, and that would solve everything. The truth is so much worse than I thought. So much more harrowing. She was subjected not only to her own terrible fate, but every single one of this house's tragedies. The tales she told me, the things she witnessed with her own eyes. How can I possibly blame her for forgetting me, for forgetting herself, after so many hundreds of years? No, I should be...
Why? Why didn't you come for me?
Why couldn't I have returned before she was so far gone?
Why did you show up now?
Giselle.
Because you opened the door to my memories, I now remember everything. But I didn't want to remember. I didn't want to be reminded of all those empty years, of the people who passed on, leaving me behind, of you, who refused to show up no matter how much I begged. I'm not the Giselle you knew anymore. I may have my memories, but I cannot go back to that time. My hands are stained with blood, my soul worn thin. The girl who would laugh at the simplest things, who would tell silly jokes, wasn't afraid to speak her mind, doesn't exist anymore. That Giselle is dead. How can you say that I'm the same girl? How can you say that I feel the same way I did? How can you be sure that even now, I still love you? Can you deny the possibility that I no longer yearn for you, like the white-haired girl? Can you deny the possibility that my love for you has transformed into hate?
She brings her hands up toward my throat, and I make no attempt to move out of her way. When her fingers brush against my skin, they feel as frigid as death itself, far colder than anything I have felt from her thus far. If she were to wrap her hands around my neck, she wouldn't even have to squeeze to stop me from breathing. This is the fork in our road. One word will decide everything. I don't have much time. I have to say something before the cold robs me of my voice. Oh no! Oh, what? No! No! Fuck you! Fuck you! No fucking way. Ah! What? We'll ride this one out a little bit, but we're going back. I wanted to deny it. She may have forgotten me, but what she felt still remains as if evidenced by her attraction to the white-haired girl, who had many physical similarities to me. Her feelings are still there. I sincerely believe that. But her arctic gaze caused me to waver for the briefest moment. Perhaps I only wanted to deny it for my own selfish reasons. It was only a few short seconds, but those seconds decided it all.
Farewell, Michael.
She slides her slender fingers down my neck, then gently shoves me back. Giselle! I'm falling, sinking into my own darkness. I reach my hand out, but I cannot grasp anything. Her hand, the hand I held for all this time, is so far away. I try to shout, but nothing comes out. I can neither answer her original question, nor say her name. Down and down, into the infinite void. Darkness consumes everything. My voice, my hands, my very being, and her gaze. My consciousness slips away. Why? Why did I hesitate? I wish I could have at least told you that I still loved you, even if you did not love me. Okay, well, I did not mean to get that out there, that's for sure. I just want to play this one out a little bit longer.
Are you really sure you wanted to let him go? Yes. I'm sure. I see. I don't think I'll ever understand. If you hate someone, you should chain them down and torture them for all eternity. It was the perfect opportunity to trap his soul. I do not hate him. Oh, Is that so, my dear? After everything you said, I simply assumed. I could never come to hate him. I could never want to see him dead or tortured. Oh? Then why did you say what you did? I don't think you would understand. Probably not. I'm not particularly interested in understanding either. It doesn't matter what happened in the interim. In the end, nothing's changed, has it, my dear? You're still my darling, devoted maid.
Alright, well, we're gonna go ahead and load on back. That's for sure. Alright, skippa, as my favorite Pink Panther would say. Oh my god, I almost didn't get that. Of course, I'll deny it. While I was floating in the darkness, I heard a voice. Regrettably, it took me far too long to realize that it was your voice crying for help, calling for me. You may have lost your hold on your old self, but somewhere deep down you kept calling for me, which is how I found my way here. I refuse to believe that isn't real. I refuse to stomp on a love that survived for hundreds of years. By all means, hate me. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I don't care if you spit bile at me for the rest of eternity. I will not let go of this hand. Because you asked me not to.
I could kill you. Right now.
If that's what you want, then go right ahead. But I'll fight you with all I've got. Giselle, I've missed you too much to lose you again. I don't care if it makes you despise me. I don't care if you think I'm being inconsiderate. I want to save you.
But I am not the Giselle you once knew. I'm an abomination. My mind and body are twisted beyond recognition. I'm a disgusting monster. The woman you fell in love with does not exist anymore. So just forget about me. You are the one who should be saved, set free from me.
You look the same to me. Your manner of speaking, your temperament, your physical appearance may all have changed, but you are still the same Giselle I love.
You should never have done anything for a foolish girl like me. You gave your life to save mine, and I hated you for that. I never once considered how you felt with those knights pointing their blades at you, or what drove you to allow me to live. I should have, but I didn't. I was the only one who trusted the witch, and yet I complained whenever you never showed up. I unfairly resented you for it. I'm a horrible, self-centered person. You would be so much better off with someone pure and unburdened with all this nasty suspicion and doubt and animosity. You would be so much happier with someone like her.
Giselle.
You've been paying attention, haven't you? You were there for all the tales I told you. For everything that has happened up to this moment. So you should know just how loathsome a woman I am. Too weak to even keep herself together.
No, Giselle.
I'm nothing compared to her.
Giselle! See? You haven't changed one bit. You still get louder and louder the more you lose your temper. Why do you feel the need to compare yourself to her?
Because she's a much better match for you.
Giselle, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. I'm so sorry for keeping you waiting. And I want you to believe me when I say that I dearly missed you from the bottom of my heart. I wanted you back, and that has not changed. Believe me. I love you. I missed you so much, too. She leaps into my arms, and she's just as cold as ever. Her warmth-deprived body feels like the embodiment of all my mistakes. I wrap my arms around her, and I'm immediately filled with unparalleled relief. even as she sobs into my chest, her body cold as ice. And then... oh? The darkness parts.
Oh my god! Is it time? Are we here?
We are once more at the top of the observation tower. It's still shrouded in a miasma of shadows, but we're back in the mansion now. We have emerged from the darkness in her heart.
Michael.
Yes?
I'm sorry.
For what?
I never should have erased you from my memories. Yours and the memories I needed to hold on to tightest. I was so glad to hear you say that you still loved me, even after learning the truth about me. Thank you so much.
I'm incredibly relieved. As I watched, it felt like you were slipping farther and farther away from me, Giselle. It terrified me. Maybe it makes me a coward, or pitiful, but I was truly afraid of you coming to hate me.
I would never hate you, Michael. Ever.
Thank you. We must leave this place.
What?
It would not be wise for us to remain here long. The air is still thick with darkness.
But the front door won't open. And even if we could get it open from somewhere, what will happen to us? We finally found each other again after so long. I want to share a quiet, modest life with you like before. What if all that disappears when we step outside? After all, we are.
She doesn't finish, but I feel like I know what she was going to say. We're different now. She's stepped far outside the bounds of mortality, and the same could be said of me. I am the man known as Michael is, long since dead. The mansion itself does not follow the rules of nature either. As beings no longer in possession of their proper forms, stepping outside these walls could very well mean the end of us. I can't say what might lay in store, but we must return.
Even though, by staying here, we could be together for all time.
I don't imagine that would be a very happy life. There's no sun here, no chirping birds, no trees or breeze to rustle the leaves. If we stay here, the nothingness will eat away at us. We finally retained our old selves. We need to take action now while we can.
What if I say I want to stay here?
Then I'll drag you out.
It's almost like we've switched places. Back then, it was you who wanted to stay. It's almost kind of funny hearing you speak favorably of the outside, and especially the sun.
The words, "That's all thanks to you," are on my lips, but before I can say them, I find myself hypnotized by her smile. That smile has picked me up so many times. She claims it's her only redeeming feature, but if she didn't have it, my life would have gone in a very different direction. I'm grateful to have gotten that back too.
Say, we're in the middle of a very, touching reunion, wouldn't you say?
I suppose so, yes.
And wouldn't you say there's a certain way these things usually go?
Huh? Oh?
Ugh, are you really going to make me say it? I was, hoping you might perhaps kiss me.
What?
What? Oh, seriously, what? Where did all that boldness come from a second ago go? What happened to all that momentum you were building?
Yeah, about that. I think that might be more appropriate later.
Later? How much later?
After we find an exit. We're, in a hurry.
You're just making excuses because you don't want to.
I swear that's not it. Giselle, let's save that for when things aren't as crazy. I can't relax and enjoy it right now.
What are you, 12?
Oh, hush.
Alright, fine. But you'd better keep your word, got it?
Promise.
Let's go then. Let's find our way out of the mansion. There, our frozen time should begin moving again. That's hopefully where our future awaits.
It will be. No, we'll make it so.
Yes, we will.
If we leave this mansion, it should release our souls as well, and in doing so, should finally provide her deliverance. So I mustn't hesitate. To end all of this for both of us, we must start again. This is where we...
What?
Yep, not gonna be that simple. Darkness. Fuck, we were so close. It's a blackness purer than anything I've experienced in this house. Not a trace of light anywhere to be found. Why did I ever think the house would let us go so easily? Why did I ever think our time in the darkness was over?
Michael!
The darkness surges through the open door like a wave, flooding the observation tower, like ivy growing wildly to cover every last inch of every surface, consuming, defiling, eroding. Our fingers slip apart, and concentrated rancor rains down upon us.
How hideous this world is. No! Michael! Please! Don't let go of my hand!
Giselle!
Michael!
I said I would never let go of her again. I said I would get her out of this place. I swore I would. But as hard as I try to stretch, I can't reach her hand.
Help, Michael! I can't move. I can't move my body.
I went out of my way to give you a beautiful tragedy. So why must you so stubbornly insist on this ugliness?
The more you struggle, my dears, the thicker and more palatable your filthiness becomes.
It's sickening.
Wouldn't you agree?
She's always spat her bile like a song with a song-like cadence, singing like a little girl, chirping like a morning bird. She celebrates misery, and she watches for the worst possible moment to let out a cackle. Morgana!
I swear you two are hopeless. I pity you. I give you my deepest condolences. Let go. Let me go. Don't take me away from him.
Giselle! The darkness seeping into her grew thicker by the moment, and its black tendrils weren't just wrapped around her, but me as well. Stop this, Morgana! Let her
go. Wow. Nothing more original. I need a devoted puppet to protect this mansion for me, so I can't give her up, not even at your request. Besides, why should I give back something you threw away? Something you abandoned again and again?
What are you talking about?
You still haven't figured it out, my dear. Or are you just feigning ignorance for your own convenience? You always did like to withhold anything that might prove disadvantageous. Michael!
Giselle, give me your hand! Reach harder! Reach as hard as you can! Grab my hand!
I can't do it. It's like I'm tied up. I can't move at all.
She's right there. She waited so many hundreds of years for me, finally managing to reclaim herself. She's right there. So why can't my hand go any farther? Why can't I reach her wrist, her hand, or even a strand of her flowing hair? Why can't I get her back again?
Michael!
Her voice is growing fainter, more distant. The darkness shrouds her, taking her away from me. Her arms, her fingers, the hands she led me with, her smiling face, her once glowing grin and her now more modest smile. The witch's darkness, is stealing every last bit of her.
Michael, help.
Stop! Please don't do this! Take me instead of her! Why? Why does it have to be her? Why her? Morgana! Ah, no. No! We were so close.
Why? Because your work is done, my dear. By all accounts, as the one who resurrected me, you should have become my guide as well. But she let a silly woman emotionally manipulate you, and you gave up on cursing others. And then you threw her away. Oh, then you threw away her life, deluded into thinking you were protecting her.
Morgana!
You already gave up the position once. Don't think you can just walk up and ask for it back.
Set yourself free! I'll do anything you ask. If you need a puppet, I'll be your puppet. If you want more from me, it's yours for the taking. But I can't leave her to remain in this cursed house any longer.
You certainly have let your obsession for this girl take its toll on you. I much preferred the old pessimistic, cynical Michael.
It wasn't until I met Giselle that I truly became human. She made me into what I was supposed to be. I can't lose her again.
Is that so? Well, you'll come to the harsh realization soon enough that everything you saw in her was just a facade.
It was not.
Alright then. If you want her back so badly, you can have her. But in exchange, I want you to entertain me. Will you endure maddening agony for me? Will you know pain enough to make you howl? Will you face despair again and again and again? If you need her that badly, you can bear anything, can't you?
If that is what you want from me, if that is what will let her see the sun once more.
Brilliant.
Wait, Morgana! Morgana!
As you wish, foolish boy. I was looking for a way to keep me busy anyway. So I'll use you to kill some time. Find your way to me, my dear. Find your way to me without going mad or succumbing to despair. And do hurry, or she might lose her mind again. Those memories you forced her to relive, those hundreds of years she spent locked away in her shell, all that fear ate away at her. It's a bit much to have to reflect on that with a clear mind, wouldn't you say? That's why I need
to be there for her. Why I have to get her out of here. That's my obligation to her.
You're the one who let go of her hand, though. You can put a broken cup back together, but the slightest tap in the wrong place will shatter it again.
Morgana! The witch's cackling fades into the distance. My outstretched hand is completely enveloped in its shadows. I can't even make out the faintest outline of it. And I can't tell if I'm sinking, floating, being pushed along some invisible stream, or falling with incredible speed. My eyes are open, but they can't detect anything. The complete lack of sound is almost painful. Nothing, anything, anywhere. Void. My consciousness begins to drift. Vague remnants of the feelings of her hand and mine are the only link to reality, my one and only landmark. Giselle. I must get her back. She waited, enduring for hundreds of years, no, almost 1,000 years. Now it's my turn to act. I have to hold that resolve, hold it firm, so that I never forget her again, so that I never lose myself again, even if I'm consumed by darkness. You must never back down. You must never look away. You must never lose her.
No way! No way, that's how it ends! What?
Okay, we're not done. We're not done. Oh, thank God.
Hey, Master. Hello? Is anyone in there? Master. Oh, good. Welcome back. What's gotten into you? I thought you'd fallen asleep with your eyes open.
I'm not accustomed to people needing my attention. Or I suppose talking face to face at all. This is my mansion. Giselle's right in front of me, smiling like she always did. Smiling for me. You're not hurt, Giselle?
You have been alone for 10 years, but now I'm living here with you. So what do you say we do a little practice conversation?
Practice conversation? What exactly do you think I am?
Yeah. And no offense intended. I just thought it'd be nice if you had some more back and forth skills.
So in short, you're saying I'm such a poor conversationalist, I need training.
Hey, don't get so snippy. That's not what I meant. I'm saying we don't talk enough and I want to talk with you more. It's fun.
No. This is an old memory. From when Giselle first returned to the mansion, and we were just starting our new life together. When we were still feeling around in the dark. What exactly would you like to talk about then?
Each other, of course.
I have nothing to say.
Now, let's not be rash. It can be anything. Things you like, things you don't like. Start with something small, insignificant.
Does that serve any purpose?
It does, yes. The more you know about someone, the closer you feel to them, and the better friends you can become.
Is that how it works?
Now that that's out of the way, ask me something. Ask me anything and I'll gladly answer.
Her eyes lit up like a child's. Is she really so eager to conversate with me? I don't believe it.
What's the matter? I'm ready for anything.
Very well. I'll ask whatever comes to mind.
Go for it.
Oof! Okay, what do we want to know? Ugh. You haven't told me your age, tell me about your family, tell me your preferences, do you like being here? Let me save real quick. I don't know. Maybe we should go ahead and end it here, though. Alright, I'm gonna end it here. We have some decisions to make tomorrow, I guess. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a fairly good amount left to go in the game, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. But that's gonna be for this time. Well, actually, okay. So thoughts on this? So I'm guessing the big end bit here is gonna be us killing Morgana, because that's the only way that we're gonna escape the mansion. So that's not exactly something that's like gonna be so surprising. I think we can all pretty well off guess that one. I'm kind of at a loss for words, just because I really wanna. I don't have necessarily any questions or anything like that. I just want to like see how this all ends, is obviously the big thing. But impressions so far of just the game in general, I've really enjoyed the different, how you go through the time periods, and then obviously you have this big twist of Giselle and the white-haired girl and the witch and all this stuff here. Excuse me. So I'm excited about that, and it's going to be very interesting to finally wrap this game up, especially with how long we've been doing it. We've been doing this for fucking ever. But maybe the next episode might be the last. Maybe it won't be. We might have a whole number of episodes more to go. But that's going to be it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video and tell me in the comment section below what you'd like to see me play next. If you enjoyed this video or any other videos or series on my channel, then I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when a new one of those videos comes out. Anyways, that's it from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.